Hi student, in this video we are exploring the question number 3 on try to addressing is there a relationship between time spent on the page and the money spent by the customers. So basically we're trying to exploring what's the relationship between the time spent on the page and the money spent by the customer. So if you look at our data set and try to determine what kind of visualization we can use. So the column F is the amount of money spent, and then the column D is how much time the people spend on each page. So basically we try to understand if there is any positive relationship, negative relationship, or no relationship between time spent and also how much money they spend. As you notice that, so for these two columns, so they are both quantitative data, and we try looking for the relationships. So when you are trying to understand the relationship between two variables, so the best way to do is creating scatter plots. Okay, let's look at together. How can we creating a scatter plot using the Excel to find the relationship? So what we're gonna do now is in order to creating the scatter plot, we will go to Insert, and then we are going to select. Okay, so of course we don't want to select the data for us because it's supposed to be a scatter plot. Okay, so in order to create the scatter plot, let's just choose a scatter plot, and it should be a blank. Okay, so it should be a blank. So what we're gonna do is we are gonna go into selecting our data. So first of all, please do not use automatic develop the scatter plot. So usually that will be wrong. So make sure you clear up your data so the chart should be blank at this point. And after you select this chart area, and then we go to click design chart design tab. Okay, under the chart design tab, we will select data. Okay, now we are able to select what we are looking for. Okay, so first of all, we are going to select add. Okay, what is my serial name? So feel free to select. Okay, we can select the amount spent. So now we were going to select X values. So think about sorry, the serial name, let's change. So here, let's select the time. So when we think about X and the Y, so the X value is used to label the X axis, and the Y use label Y axis. So usually we are selecting the variable that we are interested in. So for instance, we are most interested in is amount spent because that's affecting the business decision, right? So therefore we want to put amount spent in our Y value. For the X value, we will use the other variable that we think will have impact on the variable that we're interested in. So in this business case, we're obviously thinking about if the more time spent leading to more money spent, right? So therefore, for the X value here, we will first click this little icon, and then we will select the D. Make sure only select the value. So from D2 to D51. So that is my X value, and then I will click this little icon. And now we are moving on to our Y value. So like I said, the Y value is the one we are, for the business they are interested in. So business interested in how much money people spend. So therefore we are selecting, again, we are not including label. So we're including from F2 to F51. And then you click this little arrow again, and now you can click OK. And then if you scroll up, okay, so after I do all of those, I can click OK. So now this is the chart we are looking for. So the vertical axis is how much money they spent, and then the horizontal axis is how much time they stay in each web page. So next, this chart is not exactly what we're looking for, because we actually need to label the vertical and the horizontal axis. Otherwise, nobody knows what this chart is about, right? So in order to do that, we select the chart and then click chart design. And then we are going to add chart element. And then we are including the horizontal axis. We are also including the vertical axis. Okay, so for the horizontal axis here, we will type, since as we selecting the X variable, we know this is the time by minute. And then also we know the vertical axis here, it is the amount spent. And then we can change in the title to the relationship between time spent on a web page and money spent. Okay. And then this not done yet. For the scatter plot, we also prefer to adding a trend line to help people understand if this two variable has a positive relationship or a negative relationship. So in order to add in the trend line, you can just click one of the dots, and then in the right click your mouse. Here they call the add trend line. So now you can see my two variable actually has a positive relationship. That means the more time people spend on the page, the more money they tend to spend. So this is really good business insight for this business, right? So same like if you can make people stay longer on the website, so they are tend to spend more money. So let's go back to look at the question again. So to answer question number 3, is there a relationship between time spent and on the page and the money spent by the customer? The answer is yes. And we find the positive relationship. The more time spent, the more money they spend. Okay, so this is the how to creating the scatter plot. So the key takeaway is that first of all, we identify both variable are quantitative data, and for this question, we're specifically looking for the relationship. Therefore, we are able to developing the scatter plot. So when you're developing the scatter plot, make sure do not use automatic develop the scatter plot from the Excel. Please one by one to select your X variable and a Y variable. Otherwise, your scatter plot will be wrong. I've been seeing many students make that kind of mistake because they just using the Excel automatic develop the scatter plot. Usually they tend to be wrong. So make sure you follow my step to creating your scatter plot, and also make sure you label your axis and also creating the trend line. Okay, so that's the end of the video. Good luck.